Okay.
Now this is a 95-degree spray pattern, but a small orifice, an 01, so you see it's a lighter mist, but it covers the whole width of the paper. Now if we go to a larger size, it'll actually put down a lot more water. Now I'm going to show you a couple of different things real quick. You may use a different sprayer. You may not always use the same size spray attachments. You can actually, with these, always make up adapters so you can spray whatever size you want. Now this one here is a 110-015, so it's going to spray a wider pattern and a little more water. See, it's way past the edges there. So that's a 110. It's a really wide spray pattern. Then you get into the next thing we'll talk about, since we've covered the spray pattern, the degree, and the orifice size. This is a cone tip sprayer. Now you can adjust it. It's a pretty even misting kind of thing, and it actually puts down, you can adjust the width by the size of the cone. So I can adjust this to be a more narrow cone and put down a lot more, or I can adjust it to a fine mist where it puts down a fine mist. So cones are nice for that. They don't do an even fan tip. They do a round circle, so sometimes you'll find they're not quite as even in the spray, but they're really versatile. I also have the fan tips in the smaller quick connects. I have many different apparatuses for this, and I'm going to go back up to the top here because that paper is almost dry from the original spray, so we can start there. Now I have this put in pretty tightly, so it should be a fine mist on the cone. See how fine the mist is? Even at this distance, if I was down closer, of course it'd put down a little more water. But this is more of a mister. And then we actually have a real mister. Now the real misters are a little different yet. And these are like if you're doing something that's a bleeder fabric or something where you want to apply a very small amount of moisture. And I don't know if it'll be easier to see on the paper at the end over there or in the air. So I'm going to first do it right in front of you here. And you're going to see it's putting out a very fine mist. I don't know if you can see that on there. So we'll take it down to the end of the paper here, and we'll show you on the paper and see if that better illustrates it. Are we ready? It's a very fine mist. See how little it's putting out? Okay, if you're doing something that you want to do in extremely low moisture, that might be a bleeder or a cotton, you're worried about shrinkage, and you only want to get the base of the fibers wet and not wet it to the backing, this is a great tool for that, or a great tip for that. So what I'm trying to illustrate is we use different tips of different sizes for spray patterns, for volumes of water, and we'll talk about how we adjust that to our basic needs. If I'm doing a low moisture carpet cleaning, I would probably use an 01 tip. If I'm doing a hot water extraction, I might use an 04 or an 06 tip to put down a larger volume of water very quickly. Whereas with low moisture, we're supposed to return it to dry condition in 2 hours, so I'm going to put a lot less product down to begin with. Otherwise, it's not really low moisture. This is what a lot of people miss. You put down 10 gallons of pre-spray and 100 square feet, that carpet's just as wet as if you hot water extracted. Anyway, that's Tips and Spray Patterns 101.